Hello everyone, this is ACHAIA bringing you Game 2 of the semifinals between Goody and Sen. And Goody again wishing his opponent good luck, have fun as he does at the beginning of every round. Such a gentleman in the game of StarCraft 2. But anyways, this first game, the first game before this rather, went to Goody, the Protoss player who has proven himself as a very solid force to be reckoned with in this tournament. This of course being the Zotac Cup, series number 6 here, and we are in the semifinals once again. So we are going to see a ZVP on Lost Temple here. Now this new Lost Temple, I've mentioned in the past, there's a few modifications, but overall the structure of the map is very similar to the Lost Temple of StarCraft 1. So a lot of the same mechanics can still apply. And one thing that you can notice, of course, too, is that once again this is a 4-player map, so both players are going to have to hope to get a little bit lucky in discovering where their opponents are, because there are 2 bases, or 3 bases rather, that they could be in, but 2 of course that are going to be empty. And it looks like Sen already discovering that Goody is not in the mid right there, and actually it looks like Goody is going to try to do a little bit of an old school build here, trying to wall off at his expansion. Now, I've seen a lot of Protoss players do this in Lost Temple in StarCraft 1, where they basically build a gateway and a forge at their entrance and create a small choke that, with cannons, will be able to hold off an early Zergling push. That way they can expand pretty early in the game. So we'll see if he puts down a forge and tries to go for that. It looks like that may be what he's trying to do here, so that he can get a fast expansion off against the Zerg player. We'll see how this pays off. Although it does look like Sen already has his spawning pool going down once again. It looks like he put that down on 14 again, so doing a very similar build to what he did last game. And he was able to get up into Goody's base and see what he's got going on. Obviously not a whole lot other than this pylon, most of his tech at this point being built out at the front of his base. He does have 1 Zealot coming out, so that Zealot should be out with plenty of time to save this pylon, although it looks like Sen is going to back off and stop putting pressure on it. So at this point, both players knowing where each other are at this point in time. And Goody actually getting lucky again. Now that I look at it, he was able to scout Sen on his first attempt. So Goody getting very lucky with his scouting direction, always finding Sen on his first attempt, and an early Roach Warren from Sen. So he is obviously aware that not a whole lot of pressure going to be coming from Goody, although we do see 1 Zealot coming in. This not as tough of pressure as what he had last game, because 2 Zealots and 2 probes were in his base at about this same time, and it looks like these Zerglings are going to be out, able to push this Zealot and this probe back, and taking some shots at this Zealot as it's trying to run away. The Zerglings outrunning this Zealot by just a little bit, and here comes the second Zealot, and it looks like a pylon going down just outside his base. So Goody trying to block the expansion from Sen if he's able to get it out there. Obviously Warp Gate not going to be coming in anytime soon, as he does have a forge and a gateway, no cybernetics core yet. And it looks like he did not put his forge at his expansion choke, so possibly not going with that old school build that I had mentioned a little bit earlier. Still a little bit unorthodox from what I've seen in StarCraft 2 so far. This is definitely a little bit unique from games that I have played previously, but we'll see how it pays off. And Roach is now coming out, although it looks like Sen is got cannons warping in at the front of his base, so he is going to have to take down these Zealots, and his Queen coming out to help in the battle as well. These Roaches need to make quick work of this Zealot so that they can get out here and take these cannons down. And it looks like he is going to get out there, although these 2 Roaches behind the Queen are not doing any damage right now. That cannon going to be trying to shoot down one of these Roaches, and he barely gets one. He's going to have to move those Roaches past that cannon. 1 cannon managing to warp in, and 1 Zealot over here. So Sen trying to kite this Zealot away from the cannon so that he can fight him without having to worry about that ranged cannon, and able to take that Zealot down with some good micro. And it looks like there are 2 cannons there, so there are cannons warping in on the front entrance here, although this choke is a lot wider than it was in StarCraft 1, so Speedlings are able to get through that pretty quickly, I would think, if there's not enough Zealots over here. And it looks like Sen is going to lose the Overlord that he had positioned over that base, so that obviously going to set him back a little bit, as he is going to be slightly supply blocked. Not completely supply blocked yet, as you can see that he does have an extra 4 supply right now, actually more now that he has lost a few units because of attacking this pylon. So it looks like he is going to be able to continue to produce, and at this point no drones in his extractor, so not any gas coming in right now. I'm not sure if he's trying to get primarily Zerglings or drones right now. It does look like he's put down an expansion here, and more cannons going up Actually, just one more cannon going up for Goody at the entrance, narrowing down this choke even further. So now at this point, this choke is pretty small. It's going to be tough, especially with the help of these Zealots, for any Zerg units to get by there without bringing a sizable force. And it appears that Goody is going to be throwing down his own expansion here. So not quite as different from that StarCraft 1 build as I initially may have thought. Looking a little bit old school there, and the Queen throwing down her spawn larva on that hatchery. So we're going to see a lot more larvae coming out. Looking at the units overlay here, we do see that he being Sen actually has a lot of Zerglings in 14 right now, and he does have 2 roaches as well. The primary army for Goody right now being Zealots with only 4 of those, but he is relying very heavily on photon cannons for his defense right now, and no layer upgrade for Sen at this point. He is still rocking the tier 1 units, so going to be spawning another queen here, so he's going to have a queen for each hatchery to do that spawn larva, which is going to be very, very good for his macro capabilities, because his production is effectively going to be more than doubled for each hatchery, because those extra 4 larvae make it a total of 7 larvae at each hatchery, obviously, so production increases exponentially. Well, I guess not quite exponentially, but it does more than double with those extra larvae at those hatcheries. And 4 cannons now at the entrance, so it looks like in order for Sen to take Goody down, he is going to need to either go to the air or get a pretty formidable army here to do some serious breaking down of walls here, because he's got a lot of cannons and of course the Zealots as well defending the entrance to his base here. And it looks like Goody does have his expansion up now, starting to mine here and throwing down a robotics facility. So he is aware that Sen does have the roach technology, and he has seen some roaches from Sen as well, so he is going to be trying to get immortals, which are very, very good counter against roaches. Although it looks like, as you can see, Sen's still just sitting on 2 roaches, so he has not produced any more roaches since that initial attack, and it looks like Goody has not been able to scout Sen very much since he saw those initial roaches. So he assuming that he does have more roaches than he does, I'm sure, since he is going for that hard tech counter with the Immortals. Immortals not very good against Zerglings, because Zerglings can surround an Immortal and their damage does not go over 10. So basically a Zergling does its full attack damage, and especially with the speed upgrade for Zerglings, they can get surrounds on those Immortals so quick. It'll just make your